Here are 5 strategies that you can utilize to create value on your next real estate deal. So the first way to increase the value, and the most common way, is to renovate the project. So this is the stuff that you see on HGTV all the time. They come in and they buy a property that's outdated and old, and they maybe take out a wall to open up the space. They redo the kitchens and the bathrooms, maybe refinish the floors, paint, stuff like that. Maybe take out some popcorn ceiling if they can do that, and then they turn around and the value is much higher than they can sell it. You can do the same thing with land. So if you buy a piece of land, say a 1 acre plat, you can then get it cleared, bring in some dirt to get grading right, bring in utilities, electric, water, sewer. And then once you've done that, it should be at a much higher value, and you can even bring on a home either by building one or placing a mobile home on it, and it's at an even higher value, and then you can sell it. So just renovating and developing in general is one way that you can increase value to your property.
Hey guys, so one thing that I forgot to mention when you're renovating homes, you can also add a ton of value by adding bedrooms. So if you find a 2-bedroom home and you can add a 3rd bedroom, then that can add a ton of value to that home. Typically what I'm looking for with that is if I see a 950 square foot home or larger that only has 2 bedrooms, I know that there's likely space to add in another bedroom somehow.
So the next thing that you can do to add value is subdividing. And you can do this either to a piece of property that already has a home on it or a totally vacant piece of land. Essentially, as long as the zoning is correct, and then you're going to meet the minimum lot sizes per that zoning in that county, and you have all the required things, you can then subdivide it and have 2 separate parcels, and then each of those would be collectively at a higher value than what it was as one. You can even do this if there's already a house positioned on the parcel, particularly if it's positioned to one side of the property, and then that leaves enough room on the other side to then subdivide it. Again, assuming the zoning and everything is all there and that you're able to do this in that county. And then now you have one property and half the parcel, and then a totally separate parcel, and then that creates value. So the third way that you can add value is by adding an accessory dwelling unit, or ADU for short, onto your property. So this is a secondary unit that has to be smaller than the first. Depending on your county and zoning, the laws will be different, but here in South Carolina, in Charleston, Berkeley County, it's typically 65% of the square footage. It can be no larger than that, up to some certain amount of square footage. So typically you can get around an 800-900 square foot home, 2-bedroom, 1-bath kind of thing, and you can rent that out separately from the main house. And then that adds a ton of value if you're renting, because it doubles the rent income. And also if you go to sell the home, now you can market it as a mother-in-law suite, and then that adds a ton of value as well for anybody that is looking for that particular type of home. Fourth way that you can add value is by changing the zoning or changing the use of the property. So for zoning, say you had a vacant piece of land that's on some main street, and that is still zoned as residential for some reason. If you were able to purchase that at a residential rate, you can then go to your county and rezone it to a commercial land. So now that opens up the opportunities for what a potential investor might be able to do with that property. And then just by doing that alone, you created a ton of value. I don't know what it's like for other counties, but I know here in Berkeley County in South Carolina, rezoning is a 6-month process, so that does take a little while to go through the county. But if you are able to do that successfully, that can add a ton of value. As far as repurposing properties, a lot of big investors are taking old office buildings or old apartments and renovating them, and then selling those guys off individually as condos after they go through the process to make that legal to do such. You might not be on that scale, but you can do that for a large single family home and turn it into a duplex. Again, check with your county to make sure you meet all the requirements to be able to do that. But if you are, that would add a ton of value to your property, and you can sell each one individually and make money that way. All right, so the 5th and final way that you can add value, and this is on a much smaller scale, and I kind of touched on this on my last video, is through mobile home park investing. So the thing with that is you are taking advantage of the fact that these have to be cash deals, because the bank isn't going to lend on just a mobile home single wide in a mobile home park. So if you can go drive around and somebody's going to be trying to sell it, they're going to have the for sale sign out in the front of the yard, so they're going to have the number on it, so you can call that person, and you can, if you have the cash, you can make an agreement to purchase the home, ideally at a discount, because you're bringing that cash to the table that maybe not a lot of people will be able to do if they're looking to buy in a mobile home park. And then say you buy something at $15,000, you then own that, and now you can seller finance that property to someone else that is looking to buy. And again, that person might not have, $15,000 to buy the home, so you can owner finance it to them, and you can make them pay a down payment of say, $5,000, $6,000, $7,000, and then they finance $15,000 still over the course of 3 to 5 years. And now you created $5,000 to $6,000 just based on the fact that you're able to bring cash to the deal, and then you're also willing to seller finance it. And then now you can still finance the $15,000 and get your money back over 3 to 5 years, plus the interest that you would make on that loan as well. And then so that's money that you're making both initially up front just by adding value instantly, and then also money you'll make over time as cash flow as you seller finance it out. Alright guys, so that's 5 quick ways that you can increase the value of your property on your next real estate deal. Let me know which one you like the most, and don't forget to like and subscribe. That really does help out the channel. Thanks.